Once upon a time, in a little village surrounded by rolling hills, there lived an old farmer named Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown was a kind man with a big heart, and he lived in a cozy cottage with a delightful garden. But Mr. Brown wasn't alone. He had a loyal dog named Max. Max was a fluffy brown dog with a wagging tail and shiny eyes filled with love. Every morning, Mr. Brown would wake up early to tend to his garden. He grew the juiciest tomatoes, the brightest sunflowers, and the greenest lettuce. Max would follow him around, eager to help. Although Max couldn't do much with his paws, he helped by cheering Mr. Brown on with his happy barks, making the farmer smile even on rainy days. One day, as Mr. Brown was digging around his vegetables, he felt a little tired, so he sat under the big old oak tree to rest. Max sat by his side, laying his head on Mr. Brown's lap. Suddenly, the weather changed. Dark clouds rolled in, and a storm was approaching. The wind howled and the leaves rustled, but Max stayed calm. He barked gently to wake Mr. Brown, who had dozed off. Wagging his tail, Max led him back to their warm cottage just before the heavy rain began. Mr. Brown made himself a cup of tea and gave Max a juicy bone as a reward. As they sat by the window, listening to the raindrops tapping on the roof, Mr. Brown patted Max's head. "Thank you, Max. You are my most loyal friend." Max barked happily, knowing that his job was to always take care of Mr. Brown. And so, under the watchful gaze of the loyal Max, Mr. Brown and his faithful furry friend lived happily ever after, surrounded by love, laughter, and the cheerful songs of the garden.